Caught wife cheating. Now, what about her kids? Really long story. Had to get it out. I'm male 52, lost first wife 10 years ago at the time. Two daughters, now 21 and 24. Life went on after about 3 years. I met current wife 38, met innocently enough, basically kept bumping into her various places around town. Never really talked. Sometimes made eye contact, we would point at each other at the distance and just smile. Then one day, getting my car worked on, she walked into the waiting room, while hers was worked on also. So we finally had a long conversation. We went across the street to get a real coffee, as service centers was bad. We talked about an hour, then I was paged, mine was done. I asked if she would like to do lunch one day to continue talking. We exchanged numbers and a day to meet up. We dated 2 years, then married. She has 2 boys and now 10 and 14. They moved into my house, been living with her parents for 3 years. My girls loved her, not as a stepmom, but as a big sister. Although having another adult in the house with 2 teenage girls was a blessing, life is grand. I love those boys as if were my own. I want to adopt them when they can make a decision on their own. The little one calls me Dad. The oldest, it was awkward. I told him to call me what he felt comfortable, first name. The girls called her by her name, wife, Sam. We decided until kids were adjusted. Now she doesn't want to work, but does volunteer at school lunch and other things. Daughter 1 goes off to college, is now graduated. The younger daughter grad this past morning. We are moving the rest of her things this weekend. I was told her ex abandoned them about the time baby number 2 came along and has been no contact since. Her mom is very nice but holds me at arm's length. He is an alpha dog. I don't think he wanted anyone else taking care of his daughter, only child, and grandkids. He would berate me because I was too old, not much younger than them. This would be any time I was around them. I am non-confrontational, so I told wife I would just stay away from them. I did encourage her to continue a relationship as they only live a couple blocks away. February this year, her ex reappears. Wants to be in their lives. He asks, sketchy at best. I cannot refuse this. He starts coming around often. I set a boundary that he comes on weekends so as not to interfere with school and we can control his visitation somewhat. He comes most weekends but really spends little time alone with the kids as we try to give him space. I asked wife if he made any child support payments while he was gone. No. I suggested her to talk to him about getting caught up of whatever he owes and he asked about signing over rights so I could adopt. She said she would talk to him. First part of March, our sex life starts to dive. You know where this is going, right? But I am oblivious. I mentioned to wife she has the usual excuses. I notice little things around the house are different. My favorite snacks are gone. Missing a few beers. Not a big drinker, just one every now and then. But the big one was I could smell what I thought was weed. I asked wife if she was smoking. As we don't, she hasn't. I thought the now 14-year-old was, suggested we talk to him. She says she would handle it. About 2 weeks ago, 14-year-old asked me if I love mom. I said yes, thinking he has a girlfriend. Time for a talk, right? He says that we always sat together and were touching each other some way or other. This made him feel good. He asked if mom loved his dad. I responded that sure, in some level she does. Why asking? He replies that they are always looking at each other, talking and touching, and he is over all the time. I asked what he meant by all that time. Almost every day, when they get home from school, he is there, then leaves. That weekend, I'm in the living room. He's over for visitation. He comes in and sits down across from me with a beer. I look up from my reading and tell him to help himself to a beer. He says nothing. I ask why isn't he? With the kids, I could hear laughing come from the family room. He said he might go in a little bit. I tell him I will not drink in front of the kids. I wait until after they are in bed. He says nothing. He then states, I am only here for her. What does that mean? You're talking about my wife. He says technically not divorced. He never signed papers. So she is his wife. I know a judge signed off on divorce because he could not be found. That's why it took longer to divorce. I finally asked about a child support since I never heard back. He just looked at me and said that he was caught up, paid her $15,000 in cash. What the fuck? I asked him if she talked to him about giving up rights. Never asked. He asked, what would it be worth to me? I said, you got to be kidding. You would sell your kids? Before he could answer, I told him to leave. The next day, this past Sunday, the kids were at Grandma and Grandpa with wife. I bought and installed a camera. I put it on top of the TV, very small. It has a view of the front door and living room. Motion activated. Nothing unusual until Wednesday about 10 a.m. I get alert on phone when the camera activates. So I am at work, I get a notice. I figure it's the wife cleaning up. I look anyways. He comes back. She lets him in. They kiss long. He starts grabbing at her. She playfully pushes away. They are laughing, no sound. He sits on the couch. She brings him a beer and snacks. 10 a.m., she disappears. She is back a few minutes later, clothes change. She's going to school for lunch. They are talking. More grabbing, more pushing away, laughing. A few minutes later, she is up getting ready to leave. He gets up and grabs her again, making some gestures. Then poses like he's praying hands together. They sit down again. Then she gives him head. She finishes up, goes out of range. Comes back, says something to leave. He then watches TV. Then he takes a nap. Screen eventually goes blank. A little after 1 p.m. another alert. She is home. They talk. They both leave room. I know they are headed to bedroom. I race home and find them. They never heard me coming. There is the hysterics you would expect. He slithers out. I tell her she has to go. She pleads it was one-time mistake. He had just got there. She was lonely because we weren't having sex, etc. I call BS. I ask how often he came over. Just the weekends. This was an anomaly. I showed a video of him napping. She said he was tired and asked. Then I showed her the BJ. She had nothing to say. I told her to pack her bags. She is out. I left and called her dad to take them, and we were having issues. He, of course, take alpha position, telling me how I would screw this up, yada yada. I couldn't get a word in. Finally, I stopped him. Asked again, he said yes. Then started on me again. I had enough. I said I would send him something. I sent the video edited down to PJ. Told him to view and call me back if I was wrong. Never heard back. Talked to a lawyer Thursday. He helped me with a estate plan after first wife referred me to a partner whose family law will meet Tuesday divorce will happen. He felt but did not know for sure that I would be on the hook for support for kids. No alimony since she broke up our prenup. I made it up before marriage in addition to a estate plan to protect my girls. I don't care about the support, glad to do it. It's the boys. So my question or advice needed, has anyone else been through divorce and was able to see their ex's kids, even if they are no yours? How did that go? The 14-year-old is partially vulnerable as he will be in high school next year, formative years. I don't want to see him go down the tube and turn out like dad. Thanks to all in advance.